This is Agent Keith Wickham. Today is June 7th, 1972, and this is my first log. I have been employed by the government to help in the search and rescue of any civilians on the island of Sodor. To give a little context to what had happened, here is everything that has happened these past few days. I am the driver of the Northwestern Railway's number 4, known as Gordon. It was June 5th around 3:46 p.m. We had just pulled into Crovan's Gate with the express and were waiting for the passengers to board. I was talking with Stefan about the recent sightings of planes flying around the island. As we were talking, we saw another plane flying overhead. Then all of a sudden the air raid sirens began to blare out from the distance. I looked back the way we came, and my eyes widened as something was falling from the sky in the distance. I quickly ordered for everyone to get into the coaches, and I ran back to the cab. Just as everyone got on board, and the final doors closed, the sound of an explosion was heard in the distance. Stefan looked back in horror to see a massive mushroom cloud falling in the distance. We wasted no time, and I released the brakes. Gordon's wheels slipped on the rails, and soon we raced out of the station. We pushed Gordon to his limits and steam mist from his systems. Raced through the cast down and saw Molly sitting at one of the other platforms with a small passenger train. Just as we passed through the station, the shockwave hit. I've never felt anything so powerful before in my life, as the coaches were rocked back and forth and the windows were shattered. We raced over the cast down rolling bridge and onto the mainland. We didn't stop till we reached Barrow in Furness. After several minutes, Molly backed into the station. We went down both engines and the coaches to check on the passengers, where we found several of the coaches covered in burn marks. Thankfully, the passengers were mostly alright. However, some were cut and stabbed from the window shards. Molly hadn't said much. She was worried for the other engines. I couldn't blame her. Gordon was telling her that everything would be alright and they would find the others. As we were trying to figure out what to do, we saw Spencer racing beside us. He asked if we were okay and what had happened. As we were explaining everything, several armed vehicles and helicopters surrounded us. Men in hazmat suits exited and said that we were all to be put under quarantine and we could be highly contaminated. We were then put into a nearby building which the government had seized to contain people who may have been infected by radiation.
Greetings, my name is Dr. Jeremy Clarkson. I am a head researcher for the Atomic Energy Authority. I am here with my colleagues Dr. Richard Hammond and Dr. James May, both of whom are my juniors. At about 3:46 in the afternoon today, that is June 5th, a nuclear bomb was deployed on the western side of the famous island of Sodor. From the reports given, the plane which deployed said bomb seemed to have been of Russian design. However, as of now, the exact type is unknown. The explosive was deployed above the terminus Knapford station, where it subsequently went off, presumably killing everyone in the nearby area and possibly the whole island. The amount of radiation vented is unknown as of now, but tests are underway. So far, only 2 documented engines managed to escape the island. However, it is unknown if they have been infected by said radiation and are currently under quarantine along with their crews and civilians who were in their coaches. From the intel we have gathered, the entire island was hit by the explosion and presumably everyone was killed in the subsequent shockwave. However, that has not been confirmed. Sadly, 3 known engines have been deemed to be dead due to their proximity to the close flown. Those engines are Dennis and Rosie, who were stationed in the yard, and the number 3, Henry, who was scheduled to pull a stopping passenger train. Everyone on that train has all been deemed dead. Several other engines may have been in the surrounding area, however the exact identities of these engines are unknown. As of now, Barrow in Furnace has been condemned due to possible contamination. However, more of the surrounding area before Barrow may be condemned if need be. If anyone on Sodor is alive and hearing this, we urge you to stay in your homes and do not allow anyone in your homes. If your loved one, family member or even pet was outside when the explosion occurred, they are to be presumed dead. Again, we urge all citizens on Sodor to stay in their homes until officials from the Atomic Energy Authority have declared an order to evacuate. This is Dr. Jeremy Clarkson, and thank you for your time, and to any still alive on Sodor, may God be with you.
After several days, nothing happened to me, Stefan, or the engine, so they let us out. Gordon offered to go on the island and search for any survivors. This motivated Molly and Spencer, who also wanted to go. After some convincing, the military allowed us to join the expedition due to our knowledge of the island and its layout. So far we've been at Vicarstown waiting for the researchers and soldiers to finish taking radiation readings. From what they've said, they've never seen anything like this. We found several survivors in the station, and Molly took them back to Barrow. So far, no signs of any engines. Based on what I've been told, this was a direct attack from the Soviets. I knew they had access to some big bombs, but never felt anything like this. Stefan is helping to set up camp, and it's starting to get late. Hopefully Molly will be back soon. My hand is shaking and I'm barely able to write. Christ, what did I just witness? As we were finishing up camp, we'd got a radio transmission from Molly's crew saying they just got back on Sodor and were almost at Vicarstown. I was glad they were almost back, as I was getting worried. Then we heard the sound of an engine in the distance. I was shocked. I know Molly was built for express trains, but there was no way she should have been back so soon. However, it wasn't Molly. The engine seemed to have been coming from the opposite direction. We were horrified to see Donald race past with a goods train. He was in awful shape. I can't even describe it. The radiation hit him hard, and I can only assume his crew was dead. shortly after Molly got back, and she was petrified, saying how she saw Donald. She began to break down, saying how the bridge had been raised and could only assume he was dead. We're only 1 day into our operation, and this happened. I've already marked Donald as dead in the back of my journal. I can only imagine what happened to the other engines.